great week and looking forward to a great weekend. I wanted to take a moment and go over the milestone assignments with you. If you've reviewed your course site and looked ahead, perhaps, you'll see that there are three types of assignments here. First, you've all participated in discussions and you've done worksheets. We did a worksheet last module, learning module 1. We're in learning module 2. And notice we have a discussion and something called a milestone. What these milestones are they're cumulative projects that you'll work on throughout our 8 weeks together, where you will identify a topic, develop a concept map for that topic, then write a narrative describing that concept map grounded in research, and then you produce a final product. One way you can look at this assignment, and I'm in the student view here. If I go down to Milestone 1 Guidelines and Rubric, this is how you might be familiar with this, okay? Now, I'm going to give you a few pointers here because a lot of people they start off and they're a little hazy. You need to examine a contemporary social issue. Now, these are general suggestions here, okay? So when it says crime and violence, that's just a thought. That's a way for you to think through what you're going to be doing. Crime and violence is pretty broad. You might think about narrowing it down. Okay, violent crime, yes, I know they're suggesting it as a topic. If you're working on that, that's great. Focus a little more, right? And drug and alcohol abuse is also kind of broad. It's a very broad topic. You can focus on addiction. You could focus on alcohol. It's now called alcohol use disorder, right, in the medical and psychiatric community. You can focus on the opioid epidemic, but kind of what I'm going to recommend is that you narrow your focus, okay? And you're going to have an easier time. Bullying, hugely popular topic, but you can't just write about bullying in general. You have to be specific. In other words, we have cyberbullying, and then we have actual physical bullying, okay? So let's go over what it means to write a research topic. You want to look at its impacts, who's affected, what do people think about it, debates. And by providing a brief history, please don't tell me that there's always been bullying throughout history. No, that's going to get you in trouble. Subtopics of interest in these larger issues are included in a supporting resource list. You'll need to not only refer, and this is important here, please, you're not only going to need to refer to your text, but supporting resources as you work on the project. What this means is this is a research paper, okay? Rather than just read through these bullets and then go right and start looking at this, okay? Let's look at the supporting list, okay? This is a parental subtopic: school bullying, cyberbullying, and workplace bullying. Okay, now you don't have to cover all these. My recommendation, if you're looking at bullying, is to just pick one of these. Okay, pick one. Here's your citations here, right? Okay, crime and violence. Narrow it. Okay, gang-related crime, white-collar crime, hate crime. Okay. You can look at that, okay? Look at one of those topics. Narrow your focus. The more you narrow your focus, the better off your product is going to be. Let's look at drug and alcohol abuse. A lot of people just jump in and they go, I'm going to write about drug and alcohol abuse. It's a real problem. That's not really telling us much. We know it is, okay? So look at what this is, okay? Here's some subtopics, right? So pick one of these subtopics. Addiction. Addiction is a huge social issue. the legalization of marijuana, prescription drug abuse, the opioid epidemic. Okay, all of those are really ways to help you narrow your focus. Income inequality and wealth distribution, the wage gap, tax subsidies, and that's to rich people, and then welfare. Okay. Or if you have another topic, I've had students also write. Let's talk about. Okay, I've had also students write about obesity, about body image, about sexual harassment, which is kind of a form of bullying. If you have a topic that you're particularly interested in, let me know. Run it by me, and I think it'd be great. But please read a little further. Read. We got this guidelines and Rubric here. Read a little further. Here are the critical elements that have to be addressed. You're going to identify and summarize the social issues selected, and find one, and you just see a page full. You can use one of those scholarly source. Okay. You cite resources to strengthen your summary. Explain what is happening in the issue, and provide a brief history of how it began. This milestone is a minimum of 1 page in length. It's a Word document. It's written in APA format. Now, if you want APA format, just go over here and click this link here. Okay. You can even generate a citation. Okay, and Microsoft Word has citation tools. For this milestone, you'll be graded. Here's your rubric, your topic selection. Here you go. Your summary and the articulation of your response. Let me give you a few tips on writing. Do not tell me that, or anyone when you write, that there's very or many or a lot. Rid your language of that kind. That kind of language doesn't really tell us much. Another thing you might do is to we use sometimes cliches. The world over. No, it's probably not. It's always been a problem. No, it probably hasn't been. Okay, so be mindful of your writing. I recommend reading it, writing it, sometimes outlining it first, and then writing it, and then maybe free writing a little bit, and then editing it, and then reading it again, and editing it as you go along. If you do this milestone assignment correctly, you're going to be in great shape, to do the other milestones, which I'd like to cover briefly in this video. Also, we have, if you need help with writing, SNU has academic support and workshop calendars. So I'll work with you if you need perhaps some help with, or there's some challenges with your writing. Don't worry. I want you to succeed here. Let's go back and look at the other milestones here, and this way you can keep in mind what we're looking at. Okay. In week 4, final project milestone 2, you're gonna do a concept map of the issue. So the milestone 1, if you do it successfully, will continue into this milestone 2. Here are some milestone 2 guidelines and rubric. Okay. Usually you can do one thing. You can use this concept map, which is here. Opening on my other screen. It's taking a minute. Okay, you can click on here and use. I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay, enable editing, and of course it opened in the wrong place. Let's take a look at this. This is for milestone 2. You're gonna fill the center circle in with your social issue, and then you're going to indicate relationship between each example and whether the positive or negative or strained. I'm really concerned. You need to know what a social role is, what cultural biases are or beliefs, and what social inequalities are. Let's shrink this down for a minute and look at the rubric a little further from Milestone 2. Okay, and you can also do a PowerPoint template. If you want to do it, if that concept map is just not you, you can you feel free to do a PowerPoint template. Okay, but what you're going to want to do for Milestone 2, and this should move from Milestone 1 into 2, identify cultural beliefs and biases, social roles played by the main individuals, maybe a parent, teacher, provider, a criminal, a victim, a dependent, a government agent. Be sure to label this within your map. Identify and explain at least 2 examples of social inequalities, existing social conditions. Here you see, and also you transfer your citations from Milestone 1 to Milestone 2. Okay? You can copy those, right? And you can copy all the information from Milestone 1 into this, okay? Your central issue. The same issue. So this is the second milestone, okay? And this is how you'll be rated on that, okay? Let's go back out now. That's module 4. I think in module 5, what you're gonna now that you've broken the issue into smaller pieces on the concept map, you're gonna explain connections you made and how these connections will better understand the issue. What you're gonna do here is kind of put together, all of these elements, right? That you're gonna create the connections in narrative form with your concept map. Okay? And in doing this, please, writing is important. Clarity is important. Understanding your idea is important. Going back and looking at those specific topics within the more general ones, rather than just telling me you're going to write about drugs and alcohol or bullying, is important. Okay? Here, again, this is milestone 3, and notice that the milestones get more, and more complex. And finally, this milestone 3, which is in module 5, week 5, takes you to finally in module 7, this concept map and paper. Okay. Now, when you submit this, please, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to repeat this again, though. You've looked at the concept map, you've written the creating connections, and you're going to put them together. Now, I'm going to ask you, when you submit them at the end, do not submit 2 separate documents with your concept map and your creating connections. Submit one document. Now, you're gonna have resources: Pew Trust, the Shapiro Library, and again the supporting resource list that we looked at. But I just wanted to begin. If you begin strongly, and all of this view is just my view as a student. If you begin strongly with this milestone 1 that you're working on now, you will do well in milestones 2 and 3 and on the final paper. Please do not hesitate to communicate with me via email. I'm here to help you, and I want you to succeed. You need to, though, keep in mind, you should be spending about, all told, every week, 3 hours a week on this class, and every other class you take here at SNU. Right? If you do that, I think that's enough time. You'll spend, there'll be some weeks when you spend more time, maybe less, And so that is basically how to really succeed along these assignments. In addition to your discussions and your papers that you'll write. Okay. Please also note I'm doing this on Friday night. You need to have posted your initial post to receive full value by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. And please respond to at least 2 of your classmates by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. for the discussions. Thanks, and have a great weekend.